Welcome. I'm good. How are you? How are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. It's been a minute.
It has. Apologies for the brief hiatus sabbatical that we've been having, but we're both busy men.
Yeah.
We can dive into it now, but I feel like we're gonna get into it within the episode. This is gonna be a reflective, looking over memory lane kind of episode for us because we're both entering different phases of our life, and I think we both need this, and maybe other people who are also entering like a phase of uncertainty. Maybe this will help. But to start off, do you want to just tell me how you feel? Tell me what's been going on in your life, and how do you feel about it?
I guess to kind of get you guys up, I'm now graduated.
That's good.
Feels great. It feels really good. I had graduation. I guess it was 2 weeks ago, and then this past week I was sick, so that's why we didn't record. But in terms of graduation, it was awesome. Like, it was definitely an emotional day. If we were talking about like not being able to see my dad, like it definitely was hard. But you know, it was cool to like you came later in the day, and it made my day a lot better. So I appreciated that. But no, it feels very, like, you know, like I said in the episode before, it feels very surreal. Like, I think that I know where I want to go. Like, ultimately, I know what I want to do, but I think it still seems like, because I'm still, like, my plan right now is to take a gap year, then do grad school, and it feels very like uncertain. You know, and you were mentioning uncertainty. And I just feel like right now I don't really know how to navigate it. And so, like, I'm thinking about, like, I feel like I should be doing something, or I feel like I should be, like, doing something to prepare myself even better, but it's just that I don't know what that is. Like, I see people, like, my age, like, working and going right into either a professional job or preparing for grad school and doing everything they can. Like, right now I have an internship. I'm chilling. Like, I know I'm right in a good place. I know where I'm supposed to be. But I still feel that, like, I need to do more, you know? And I guess it kind of goes, like, onto partially what we said before, but, like, I feel like I always should be doing more, you know? So that's the biggest thing for me right now.
Why do you feel you need to be doing more? If you just said you know what you want to do, and you know that you're taking a gap year, so why is it that during this gap year you still think you need to do more?
I don't know. I feel like just to prepare myself in the best way possible, that there's something that I'm, like, missing. Like, I feel like I'm just, like, I'll be doing what I need to do for my internship, but and making sure that I'm just mentally okay. But I still just feel like I guess maybe I have too much time, or maybe I just need to do something else to fulfill that time so that I'm moving forward or feel fulfilled. But I guess the ultimate thing is I don't necessarily feel fulfilled right now, and it's like I figured that, like, once I finish school and I'd have time, I'd be able to breathe a little bit. But and I feel like, I mean, it's been a week or so now that I solid break, but I don't know. I feel like I need to do something else. Like, I don't know if it's like find a new hobby or get something else into, like, some more time doing something else that I enjoy. But I don't know. I feel like I just need something else.
That's interesting. Just because, like, usually someone who has it all mapped out, maybe it's like the boredom.
Yeah. And, like, you just said, I mapped it out. Like, I'd, like, have it mapped out, like, in a long-term scheme, you know? But there's not, like, a day-to-day kind of consistency. And so I don't like doing nothing. You know, like you were saying, you don't, like, necessarily feeling like you could be doing something when you're not. So I feel like I'm kind of there right now. You know, like, I feel like I could be doing more and should be doing more, but don't really know how to do so or what to do and fulfill it in the best way, either that makes me happy or that I feel like I'm actually progressing. Like, I feel my best when I am moving towards my goal as a career, you know, and I feel like the internship is great. You know, like, I go there, I feel great afterwards, but then, like, there's times, like, after that I'd have more time. So, like, I do DoorDash, like, that's my, like, job. I'll just do it to make some money. But still, again, like, that'll take some, like, a few hours of the day. But then I come home and I'm like, now what? You know, it's like, what do I do to fulfill that extra time? You know, that I'm just sitting around and doing nothing. You know.
So, do you think you'll feel more fulfilled once you go back to school? Or
yeah, I think so. Like, I think that I just know, like, I'm good with a schedule. Like, I know, like, when I have my daily routine, that's where I'm the best. You know, like, the busier I am, the better mentally I am. And the more that I take time that I feel like I need or should have, I feel like I get in that lull sometimes. And I feel like that's where I'm at right now. And it just makes everything else feel harder to get into.
Yeah.
And like the motivation just feels harder when I have more time. And it's just such an annoying like dichotomy between the two. But you always want more time when you don't have it. But when you have it, you're like,
what do I do with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, I guess we're kind of hitting the inverse, because I've been in that space of how do I fulfill my time? Because I haven't been taking classes this semester, and I've been podcasting, gymming, working, like just doing all of that stuff, and trying to find those pockets to fulfill myself. And now I recently got a new job opportunity. I'm not going to get into that, but I'll be heading up to your hometown, Charlottesville, and I'll be diving into that. Great opportunity, kind of fell into my lap a little bit. I don't know how life works like that, but it was an opportunity and I'm going to take it. So I'll be working like a full-time job in Charlottesville. I don't know anyone in Charlottesville. It's going to be a brand new experience. And it's kind of what I think I need. I woke up this morning and I was like teary-eyed, bro. I'm not going to lie. I started crying and I was just going through all of my old messages, and I have like a lot of like, whenever someone does something nice for me, like they give me like a note or like a letter, like I always keep it. So I have this box of things, and I was going through that box and just rereading all of the things that people said, like good or constructive, and it just made me tear up. And I was like, I guess I've grown a lot, but it's hard to let go sometimes. It's really, really hard to let go, but I've never felt more ready to let go, if that makes any sense. Like, I feel like being in this like space of uncertainty has been leading me to settle in a lot of aspects of my life. And now that I'm going to be pushing towards something greater as a man, I can leave some of these friendships. I can leave, the city that I've grown to love and the environment that uplifts me, and I can put myself in a different position to succeed, so I can become more well-rounded. But it has been really, really hard, just like accepting that it is coming to an end sooner than later, actually.
But do you think, like, do you feel like you're ready for it? Like, do you feel like you can conquer this and be like, yeah, this is next, I got this? Yeah,
there's not a lot of things that I don't feel like I'm ready to do. It's just like, it's like when you have a bad breakup, like you hold on to the good things, and whenever you see them, you're like, damn, it was so good. But like, there's also a lot of shitty things that you're not taking into account. So I think I am ready. It's just a matter of accepting it, like accepting that this is the end. This is the start of your new journey.
Yeah, I would say it's just a new chapter. It's not necessarily the end. Like, it's like definitely something you can come back to,
In what ways do you think you need to grow the most? Let's like get down to the nitty gritty. Let's stop lollygagging around here. Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
I guess just feeling more comfortable with myself. It's like building that confidence, building that. Because for me, it's just always wax and wanes. And I know that's like life. You're never gonna be perfect with it. But I just want to be able to just show up to a place and always feel that I have it, and feel confident enough in myself that I have it. And like, if
have what?
Just the situation, like any situation that was thrown at me, I would be like, I got this, and not have any worry about anxiety, not worrying about anything else. Like, it's just natural. And I think that I kind of falter in that aspect when I start to like second guess myself, and I feel like that's just part of the confidence thing.
So what steps are you taking to build that confidence?
Talking to more people, like trying to branch out and feel comfortable with that. And I definitely I feel it's good, but I definitely don't feel like I'm on, like, I don't feel like I'm there yet. Like, I don't feel like I'm providing everything that I have. And I think that I have to figure out how to step back and not doubt myself so much. And I haven't figured out how to do that yet. And I feel like it's all like everything that I struggle with is myself, and figuring out, I gotta figure out how to overcome that. Like, it's like the self-talk.
Yeah, one of the biggest realizations that like has honestly helped me come to terms with like leaving is the fact that like we're all gonna die one day,
Okay,
and
yeah.
a majority of the world will say, damn, sorry for your loss. They'll forget about you in like 3 days. Your close friend group, they'll be hurting for like a couple months. Family be hurting for like however long, you know what I mean? But most people will not give a fuck that you die. And I just wonder why I've been putting so much pressure on myself to impress or to be good enough for other people that truly will not matter in the long run, you know?
Mm-hmm.
None of this stuff actually matters unless you make it matter.
Right. And the thing is, like, I always tell myself that.
Yeah.
But how do you, like, I guess, what did you get to the point, or what made you really believe that?
It's like when you doubt yourself so much and then you talk to other people who you put on a pedestal higher than you, and you realize they're equally as doubtful. It's like you're striving to get to that point, but when they're at that point, they're probably more or the same as you.
Yeah.
We're all inherently the same. And I've been putting people on these pedestals for so long just for exterior things, like he has a better car than me, or more money than me, or better looking, or like all of these things. Excuse me. But it just does not matter. Like it just really doesn't matter. And if I can't look in the mirror and be content with like myself, which I don't every morning, obviously, but we're all going to take these different journeys, and it's not going to matter to 99% of the world what we do.
Yeah.
Even though we think everybody's watching us, nobody's watching us. Nobody cares what we do. So why do we put that pressure on ourselves?
I don't know. It's just like it feels like the world is on us. And I think partially, I think that's become like part of the individualist culture that we live in. Like, we're always like doing what we feel we need to be doing, or looks the best, like when it comes to like social media, like putting on the best face. So I feel like there's eyes looking at us at all times. But I also think that it's like that false reality, you know, like they see you when they see you on Instagram, but they're not thinking about you after that. Like, they like your picture, they move on. Or they see your comment on Twitter or Facebook, and they're like, okay, like I like this, I gauge, but like that's it, you know, they're not ruminating over it. But at the same time, it's like if you put yourself out there like in this medium, you know, then there's conversation to be had, you know, like they're gonna be able to see this, like, oh, like this, I saw them talk about this topic, and so I guess it's like I tried to just balance. I understand the whole like not many people are actively watching you and actively caring about you, but there's still a face that you want to put on to make sure that you are looking appropriate to the masses. Yeah. You know, and I think that, like, I don't remember like the exact quote, but my dad was like, if you want to be seen in a certain light, you have to, like, if you didn't, basically he was saying, if you don't want something to come back to me, like, don't do something that I wouldn't do, kind of thing. And it's like, you don't want to show up in the newspaper, you don't want it to show up in on TV, like you just want to make sure you make yourself look like in the best light all the time. Yeah. And so like I really took that to heart, and I still do. I think that like I'm very cautious about like what I post, like who's seeing what am I doing. I kind of like lessened it as I've gotten older, but I still think that does apply. But then I look at like the things that like politicians say, and like how they get into office, and I'm like, there's things that they said that definitely isn't appropriate, but they're sitting in one of the highest positions in the country, and they're doing just fine.
That's a whole different.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like more about the idea of that. Yeah. You know, it's like you can see some like people really don't care at the end of the day. No. And I like as I see that, I'm like, I'm really being very cautious, but they're out here doing like this, and they don't really care, and they still doing what they're doing. You know? I just think it's such a weird idea, but. It's
an aimless strive for perfection. It's like we don't know where we're aiming to get that perfection, but everything we do, we're always striving for it. Right. And it's so dumb because people are watching us, but the only people who truly critique you are people who are insecure with themselves.
Yeah, no, and it's like I watch that too. You know, I'm very like aware of that, but it still hits, and I don't know why. But I feel like that's just me. Like, that's me critiquing myself.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like we don't have enough internal armor yet to be able to deflect all of the hurt people. But hurt people. Like, you'll never see someone who's genuinely happy with themselves trying to bring others down. So it's like when we're in this space of uncertainty, trying to figure out what we're doing. Like, yeah, you have the person who went from high school to college and then college to grad school, and then they have their big boy job and they're shitting on everybody else who's trying to figure their life out. But are they happy? If they are happy, kudos to them. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But most people just go through things because they feel like they have to.
Right.
And that's one thing that I have told myself I will never do. I will never, ever do something because it feels like I have to do it. And a big thing that you always been telling me is like, you got to get that degree. And I've always told you that I'm going to get my degree, but it's going to be on my terms. It's going to be when I want to get it.
No, I respect it.
The world is just so judgmental, and there comes a point where you just get fed up, and I've just been fed up for so long. And the older I get, and I can look back at my older self, it's just like I'm the same guy. I'm that same insecure guy who's striving for the same things that I was when I was younger. And it really hit me today because at the end of freshman year of college, I did orientation, and at the beginning of it, I was a leader for orientation, and they made you write a letter to yourself at the beginning of it so you can read it afterwards. So after the whole summer's done, you reread the letter and you're like, did you accomplish everything in that letter? I read that letter 3.5 years later, like today, and I'm that same guy with the same insecurities, looking for the same things. And just because the outside is changing and you think you're doing better because you're making more money or you have more friends or you're, you know what I'm saying, you're getting bigger and stronger, you're still fighting in here. Like, this is the only thing you're fighting. So it's just, I've just seen too many people with so much money who suffer, and so many people with no money at all happy. Like where is that medium? And it's like, it has to be in yourself.
Yeah, no. And you're right. You know, you have to create that yourself. And I guess it's like, that is ultimately what I'm trying to do right now. Like, and that's finding that during this gap time. That is it. You know, finding that internal happiness. Because I guess I'm so used to just, I'm not saying doing what I must do or have to do, because I don't feel like I have to do anything. Like, I'm never like, this is. Oh, I might take that back. I feel like the pressure of college was definitely something that was instilled on me.
Well, for sure, but it's for a good reason.
For good reason, yeah. But I never like show up to things and I'm like anxious that I have to do these things. It's more just like making sure I do it right. Like, that's where the anxiety comes from. But I've never really sat down and thought about like what I want really either. You know, you see these things that just naturally come at different phases of your life, and that's expected of you. But if you ask me like, what do you want right now? I don't know if I could tell you. Like, I don't know if I could like be like, this is what I want to do. Ultimately, like, I would say I want to be happy like that. But like, what does that even like?
What does happiness look like?
Yeah, what does happiness look like? So I guess it's like, for me, traveling is awesome. You know, like that. Ultimately, that's seeing new people, new things.
It's the beauty of one thing that I'm very happy about is, like, I obviously come from like a very small city, and I didn't see myself leaving that small city. A lot of people who grow up there stay there, and they have a small town mindset. And I felt different, and I was like, I want to like go somewhere else and do this and do that. Come to Richmond. It's bigger. People are more accepting, but it's like, I still just want to do more. I just always feel like I want to do more. And I don't know which shadow I'm that I've been living in, but I've just never been happy with myself for like some reason. And I don't know why, bro, but like doing things like YouTube for a little while, and then doing this podcasting stuff, and like seeing how many people support you when you're here but don't support you when you're here, it just like opens up so many avenues of truth. And it's just like, who cares what anybody thinks, bro? At the end of the day, I don't even know what I want, but every time I think about what I do want, it involves something with creating content. So I just like impacting people, and I think I like impacting people because it fills the void within myself that I feel like I wish I could be this perfect person, but since I can't, I find the traits in other people that I like, and I help them with the things that they don't, and like vice versa. So it just helps fulfill the voids that I don't have inside. So I don't know, bro. Every time somebody asks me what do I see myself, I always say the same thing, bro. I picture myself giving a speech to like a big ass group of people. I have this dream like every like 2 weeks. I don't know what I'm wearing or who the crowd is, but I'm just saying all this motivational shit, and it just feels like I made it somehow. And they say your dream comes to you in whispers. It doesn't yell at you. So it's like, do you think you want to be doing it, but you're scared to not do it because many people don't really think it's practical or all that stuff. So if it just keeps whispering to me, I just don't know what the whisper is, but my dream keeps whispering to me. And the older I get, the closer I am getting to that. But the more I'm realizing it's not this path that everybody else is taking. Yeah. It's not the college degree, like grad school that like, you want that. And like, I love that for you. But sometimes I like sit back and I'm like, how does he know that? Because like, I truly don't know that for me. So
I mean, I went to the schools, so that's what I know. But I just see myself like at the end of the finish line.
What finish line? Like, you already crossed one. So like what?
Grad school finish line, like having my own practice and like being there.
Your own practice, meaning like once you get your own practice, then that's when you can be like, all right, now this is what I've been striving for from since I was born up to 28, 27, however old you end up being. You think that's when you're going to be like, because I don't think it ever stops.